Hello Aquarius, I am Rebecca and my channel is Empathic Crow 1111 and so the energy is feeling a little awkward. I did tap in and I did write down what came through for you Aquarius. This is for May 2026, but it's a timeless message, so whenever you find it, it still may hold some information for you. Now, one of the things that came through that I'll read to you in a minute is inner child. And so I pulled out the inner child deck and I paused for a moment because I want to read this to you. Your ultimate healing comes from within. So Aquarius, I don't know if that may be important to you, but we will see. So I do have a knowledge of the cards, but I am also an intuitive reader. So a card may mean one thing when you look at the actual meanings, the intended meanings, whatever, but we're going to look at what the energy is for you. I know I'm not the only reader that does that, and I think even when people follow the direct meanings, 111 on the clock, they usually use their intuition. I feel like I'm over explaining, which is a weird energy to be in right now, but there's just something about that with your energy right now. So let's go ahead, Aquarius, and I will read to you what Spirit was saying, what I wrote down as I was pulling the cards out, because you are the first reading that I'm starting today. I've recorded some on another day, but we're breaking it up, and that is apparently something I need to share with you, that maybe this is something you do. And some days I record all the 12 zodiac readings in one day. Sometimes I have to break it up and do like 3 or 4 one day and 3 or 4 another day, or 6 one day, 6 another. So I don't know if that's part of what this energy is for you, but I was like, I don't explain this necessarily. So where is this coming from? So Aquarius, I am hurting, and I wasn't earlier, along the area that I heard somebody call the coat hanger area the other day. So it's like the, what is it, trapezius, deltoids. I haven't taken anatomy since I was a junior in high school, and that was a long time ago. We won't say how long. But there's a lot of tension in the shoulders and the neck, but especially this area right here. If you're feeling that, this may be for you. If you're feeling scattered, this may be for you. If you feel like you're having a hard time getting everything done, and you're Aquarius and any of your placements, maybe you're a cross watcher, it still may be for you. So what I heard was, round and round and round we go. When it stops, nobody knows. And that's exactly the energy, the wording, the tone that I was getting, hearing the message from Spirit. And I felt really dizzy, and I'm seeing things like if you're on a ride at a carnival or something that you can barely even see, like the lights may even look like streaks and blur because it just feels like you're spinning. And then all of a sudden I saw a scene from, I think the name of the movie was Uptown Girls. It had Brittany Murphy and Dakota Fanning. Now Dakota Fanning was a very young child is what I want to say at the time. She was very young, and so this has been a while. I can't tell you the time frame of the movie, but they were riding on the teacups. And so this is where I got that inner child, because a lot of that movie is Brittany Murphy's character never really having to, she had a lot of loss, a lot of hurt, and she didn't necessarily grow up. She didn't necessarily mature. And as she's working with Dakota Fanning's character, she starts learning some maturity, because that character, her family, not to give you the whole movie, but her family, if I remember correctly, didn't focus a lot on her. She had to mature and grow up really quickly. So you have this child who is basically a miniature adult, and this adult who is more childlike, and they both have to learn from each other. The child learning to be more childlike and to play, and the adult learning to take responsibility and heal. All right, so Aquarius, I'm guessing that may be something that could be helpful to you. And I'm looking at my timer because I have a phone call coming up. So let's go ahead and get started. So I do have several tarot decks today. For these reads, it just felt important, even though usually I only do one. We are going to start with the Modern Witch Tarot. And if there are any cards that I need to cover up, I will try to do so with various stones that I have beside of me. I feel like even though I pre-shuffle these, shuffling again. Now, sometimes I have to shuffle funny because of arthritis in my thumbs. I used to shuffle proper. But these cards are super thick and they can be a little hard to shuffle. One more. I like threes, but I was trying to break out of my pattern. Open it up to the star card, which is definitely one that has to get covered up. So Aquarius, I really do feel this is about that healing and being able to find some kind of a balance. So let's see. What spirit are we starting out with for Aquarius? Well, that's a lot of cards, but they feel important. So we will go with it, even though it just kind of all fell out very quickly. So the first card we have is the High Priestess. The High Priestess. And if I'm looking up on the screen, I didn't put my phone into airplane mode, so I have a spam call coming through. And maybe with her having this laptop and that call coming through, that could even be a message too, that it's like you try to start doing something and then something comes through, or somebody wants your attention, something wants your attention, and it's not even something that's going to bring anything to you. That could be a part of it. My ears, I've got a lot of pressure in them, and it feels just like the pressure is spreading into my head. Like it's just this pressure. It's like I feel like your intuition, it's not blocked. Your intuition's not blocked, but that you're having a really hard time paying attention to it because it just feels like there's something going on all the time. Even with this laptop, notice that she's not looking at the laptop. She has it. It's there. It's balanced on her leg. I just heard obligation. So she may feel like she has to answer this email or look at the laptop, research something, whatever it is. But at the same time, she's prepared to do something else. And I'm seeing somebody just juggling way too many plates. Like the person that's performing in the circus and they've got the sticks and the plates on them. And it feels overwhelming. So also we have the black and the white pillars here. And again, I'm hearing balance. This is about finding a balance. There are some things that your intuition knows, but so it's not hidden. It's not that the moon is bringing things that are hidden to light. What I'm hearing is you've got to pause, take a breath, focus, and get clear on what actually needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, who needs attention, who needs focus. I heard you need focus. So this is about using your intuition to help you, not just to try to navigate the chaos. That's what I'm seeing. Now look, the Hermit has a laptop as well. But the Hermit's just kind of like trying to decide, do I peek into it or not? And I feel like that's where you either are right now or you're heading with all this chaotic energy of picking up on all these different things. And there's so much going on and not knowing what to do about it, standing on guard. That's the way it feels. It's like, oh, here comes another thing. Like when that spam call came through, I looked up, but I just continued what I was doing. But it feels like that for you, there may be this feeling of, what if that's something important? What if I need to do something? And so either you are already in this Hermit energy because you just felt like, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't do this anymore, I'm taking some time to myself. But if you're not, Spirit is calling you to pull back, to allow yourself to push, because right now it can look like she's opening it, but her thumb is on top of it. If you look, if you can see, I know my lighting is not that great because I'm using a desk lamp, but if you look, her thumb is on top. So she's not using her thumb to open. She's pushing that down. Whereas this person, she's not looking at it, but she's still got it there and ready at any time. And so this is part of calling your power back and setting those boundaries. Sometimes we have to pull back in order to be able to refill our energy and focus on ourselves so that we can get back into that mode where we're not overdoing, but we're better able to respond. We're better able to feel that we're not depleting our energy. Why is it like a big thing right now that I'm seeing her feet are bare? So what I'm noticing is they both have on like these cape-like outfits. But notice that this person, this could be pajamas. Like they are comfy, cozy. They don't even have shoes on. This person, they're sitting in a way where their legs are kind of together, you know, as women or anyone who wears a dress. Sometimes you have to do that for modesty, correct? But she's sitting in a certain way. She's got these shoes on. She's fierce, but she may not be comfortable. And this is saying get completely comfortable. Whatever makes you comfortable, then Aquarius, that is what you're being called to do. Whatever makes you comfortable. Because you've got the Ten of Swords, and this is the one where there are two Ten of Swords, 11-11 on the clock. There are two Ten of Swords cards in this deck, and I went ahead and left both of them in, even though the author says you can use one or the other. I left them both in, because sometimes people may need to see the Ten of Swords as the Ten of Swords. The image is the same. The words on the bottom are different. So the Ten of Swords says the Ten of Swords. This one says everything is fine. So that's the energy you're in, 11:33 on the clock. Everything is fine. It's like there's a dumpster fire going on and you're just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's all fine. It is really fine. It's not fine, Aquarius. And so if you're feeling pinned down, that's what I'm hearing, feeling pinned down, and you feel like you need a break. Like, look, even when she's here pinned down, she's in her lowest moment, she's still got her phone in her hand. Now, sometimes when I'm reading this card, that phone is like a lifeline, and that is something where she's reaching out for help. That may be part of it for you. Maybe you do need help from someone else to delegate tasks to, or to help you to navigate through different emotions, or to help you relax, whether that's breath work, yoga, whatever it is, even a walking partner, something like that, but somebody who doesn't drain you. But in this, with all this technology that we've had, I've seen it as even in the moment where this person feels like they have nothing left to give, they're still answering a text. They're still on their phone. So Spirit is calling you to put the phone down. Like, look at her face. She has nothing left to give right now. There's still life and vitality within her, but if we don't take that moment to take a break and allow ourselves to refocus, we are going to struggle. And I was being called back to my note of what I had seen before, and I'm seeing Brittany Murphy again. And part of it is, like, in the beginning, she ran out of money because she wasn't using it wisely. And I feel like 13:11 on the clock, that with your energy, you're running out of energy. And it's not that you're not trying to use it wisely. It's just the boundaries have gotten lax somewhere. And so it's being able to call that energy back. Notice that there are purple stones coming out of the side there. And that's drawing me toward like an amethyst kind of energy. Being able to think about calming. Using amethyst if you need to, or some lavender or something to help you feel more calm, not feel like you're pinned down, not feel like there's constantly a sword flying at you that you're having to dodge or navigate or figure out what to do. So your inner child may have felt like you had to handle everything. You had to manage everything. You never knew what was coming, and so you felt like you had to take responsibility for that. And it's playing out in adult life too, because we do get triggered into those childhood defense mechanisms or safety nets that we create. And they were helpful at the time, but they're not helpful now. Next, we've got the King of Pentacles. So with this Taurus energy up here, I'm looking at him. What I'm feeling like is that here you've been trying to navigate the world, running around doing everything for everyone else. And we talked about the Hermit. And with this Taurus energy, I feel like that's saying to you, as I was talking about with the comfy clothes, allow yourself to take time and tell yourself, I don't have to feel guilty about this. I don't have to do anything for anyone unless it is actually an emergency, something I want to do, whatever it is that helps you. Because that Taurus energy is saying to me, whether it's comfort foods, comfort clothes, spaces, your favorite blanket, 15, 11 o'clock, whatever it is for you, that this is time for you to allow yourself to feel comfortable with what you're doing, even comfortable with, the amount of work that you're doing. So that with this King of Pentacles, you can feel like you've done the work. You're grateful for what you have. You have been putting in the work, because we had, I think, 8 of Pentacles, on the bottom of the deck. Like, you've been putting in the work. You've been putting in a lot of work. And Spirit is saying, that's great. You're going to, it is paying off. But there has to be some enjoyment, some excitement, some pleasure. Like, look with that 8 of Pentacles. I talk sometimes about the fact she's wearing this orange shirt, 15:55 on the clock, sacral chakra, passion, creativity, intimacy. I sometimes call it a returning to yourself, because it's about like embodying yourself, that self-esteem, that self-worth, and recognizing that your worth is not just coming from what you can do for other people, but also what you do for yourself. Now, the last card fell on the floor, and I'm going to try to pick that up real quick. Oh, it's the Queen of Cups. Give me just a second. It's the Queen of Cups. And notice that with this Queen of Cups, the ocean waves are very calm. They're just coming up to her. They are overlapping her dress a little bit. And her dress looks like this mermaid dress. And she's just calmly there. She's got her cup, so her emotions are managed. And she feels at peace. She looks at peace. She feels at peace. She's looking at this cup, and there's a look of love on her face, or it's kind of nurturing. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That nurturing look on her face. And I feel like that's where you're being called to, because right now, some of these, like, this does not feel very nurtured. 17:17 on the clock. So you're being called to step into a more nurturing energy. And notice we have the sand here and the water here. It's about that balance. There's a lot of blue in this card too. So part of this is about, you may have the knowing, but also speaking up. But I'm hearing in a balanced way. Coming back to the King of Pentacles, these flowers here, they're yellow, kind of like daffodils, and that's solar plexus. So again, like with this moon, releasing that anxiety and allowing yourself to not feel like you have to look for everything that feels like it's hidden, because you are one person. Oh, I said her dress looked like a mermaid. I totally forgot there's a mermaid on the throne. So what am I seeing with that? This mermaid's a little sassy and playful. I talked about the sacral chakra with that 8 of Pentacles that's on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you've been in work mode so much. This is definitely calling you to be a bit more playful. If you like water, it could even be going to a place that has water, or even if you're outside in your yard, like I'm seeing as kids, we had the sprinklers and running through the sprinklers or something. But water, salt water, can be very healing. So if you're feeling the call to go to the ocean, or even an aquarium, something like that, I'm just seeing, Aquarius, you being playful, like a need for you to be playful. All right, we're doing good on time. So where are we going from here? That was a lot of cards from the tarot deck, and I didn't have to cover anybody up, so that's nice. All right, I'm being called to the inner child deck. Let's get at, I've talked about with the Queen of Cups, how I feel like that's calling you to play. So let's see what the advice is from the Inner Child Oracle. This is by Amanda Lynn Elsing. The Modern Witch Tarot is Lisa Sterle. So 2 cards came out, and we have 3, be present, find clarity in the moment. So notice that this is taking you right back to our first card, which was the High Priestess. You have a grounded knowing of yourself and I heard your limitations, and also that you may not like to hear it that way, but that it's good to understand that we all have limitations, that that's not putting you in a place that's below. It's honoring and respecting that we can't do everything, and we want to get out of that swirl of the teacup ride at the fair or whatever. So finding clarity in the moment. There's a full moon as the pupil of this eye. So this is releasing those things that are not helping you to find clarity, that are not helping you to connect with yourself or with the divine. And this does look like angel wings, but it also looks like butterfly wings. So understanding this is a transformation, and change and transformation is never completely easy because it requires us to do something different. And when you're in go mode, and you've been in go mode for a while, sometimes we're forced into this hermit mode. And Spirit says if you haven't already been forced into that mode, it's time to try to prevent that from happening. And we do that through self-care. If you're not already in this mode of feeling so pinned down and depleted that you have nothing, it's time to prevent yourself from getting there. But even if you have, it's finding a balance, nurturing, comfort, things that are beneficial, 2121 on the clock, to you. And some people aren't going to like that, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Change is hard. They just aren't used to, if you have a hard time setting boundaries, they aren't used to you setting boundaries. So it's uncomfortable, awkward sometimes for you. It's going to be uncomfortable and awkward for them sometimes too. The next card is 22, which breaks down to a 4. Let it come forth. Give yourself permission to feel it. In order to get to that 5, which is where we start that turning point, the change, you have to let yourself feel the feelings, allow yourself to, as we said with this moon, release those feelings. It's not that you let go of the past. It's not that you can change the things that have happened. It's that you allow yourself to, give yourself permission to feel it and heal it. Look, I talked about that first card looking like the angel wings were butterfly wings, and she's got a butterfly on her finger, a monarch butterfly. So if that monarch butterfly means anything to you, or even the fact that it's orange, that sacral chakra, again, calling you to play, and whether it's the ocean, the mountains, whatever, there's a big call to get out in nature. All right, let's see where else we're going. And I've got 10 minutes. It's already 22 minutes. So with that in mind, let's get a cosmic record card, 2255, and get some very clear advice. I don't know that all of these, especially now that I've dropped a whole bunch of them, this is a really thick deck. But the one that definitely popped out, and we have a lot of blue in this card too, is the key. You may have had a recent conflict, and this key symbolizes the chance to heal that relationship. The universe reminds you that extending the olive branch is the first step to unlocking reconciliation and understanding. So that relationship may be, I wasn't expecting that card, but that relationship may be with somebody that you feel like has put the weight or burden on you. I'm seeing the Brittany Murphy, Dakota Fanning from Uptown Girls again, and it feels like Dakota Fanning's character, you actually had to be the responsible one, and somebody else was not taking on task or their responsibility. Unfortunately, sometimes when we are trying to make sure that things get done, we take on responsibilities that may not be ours. Remember I said something about delegating earlier, and it's like we put ourselves into this energy without meaning to, because we're not, and I talked about communication too, and it was 24:24 on the clock. We're not communicating our boundaries, our needs, or even that we need assistance. In fact, this came out as the Everything is Fine card versus the Ten of Swords. Well, it is the Ten of Swords, but with the words at the bottom. In this situation, you may have been saying, everything's fine, I've got it, it's okay, I've got it. And now you may feel like you don't. There may be pushback. Like I said, change is hard for any of us. Give me a second. Aquarius, I think no, there was, I can't remember which sign it was where I dropped a lot of cards before. All right, so we'll go ahead and finish out with these. Inner peace. The chaos outside is stirring waves within your heart. Remember, you have the right to determine your emotions. Let inner peace summon your higher level outcomes for you. We got the lotus flowers, so it's not easy growing up through the mud. But we're talking about that Queen of Cups, balancing the emotions, nurturing and taking care of yourself, and knowing that it's okay for you to do that. All right. Are any of these others, that's definitely part of it. Any of these others? I think they all are. So Aquarius, we're just going to finish it out with these. Okay. We'll start. All right. Cross it over. You often lose motivation halfway and begin doubting yourself. Break this inner cycle like finishing a marathon. Take the final steps, cross the self-imposed finish line, and feel the victory within. As I was saying that in my mind, I was seeing the Hermit. So I feel like this is saying you've been over-functioning and taking on too much. So the thing that you need to complete is scheduling time for yourself, putting yourself as a priority, allowing yourself to set those boundaries, not setting a boundary and then stepping back because somebody gets upset or they feel like it's too much. Because if you have done your self-check and said, is this harmful? Is this trying to coerce someone or whatever it is? If it doesn't have a bad intention, it's not that they're upset because, well, they may be upset because they feel like you're doing something, but you are just setting healthy boundaries. You are communicating. So it's okay to follow through with the boundaries that you set. That's what I'm getting from that one. Redefining. The final puzzle pattern may differ from the original version. The universe hints that accepting change and unexpected combinations is a form of growth. Let go of fixed expectations and create a new picture. So that also leans into where we were saying sometimes if it feels like, because that whole energy feels like if somebody was to take a puzzle box and just toss the pieces all over the room and they're expecting you to clean it up. Like they tossed it, but now you have to clean it up. And so you get to redefine what that's actually going to look like. Like you don't have to clean up the puzzle pieces of everybody else. You can help if you want to. You can offer to help. So you may have started with something and then it felt like everything got scattered, or seeing the teacup swirl again and feeling the dizziness. Everything became like a tailspin or just chaos in general. You don't have to complete it in the same way. It's okay to take a step back and reevaluate. Appreciation. Every day has moments to be grateful for, no matter how small. Take a moment to notice the support around you and the progress you've made. These are the forces driving you. So if there are people that are making it to where you're more likely to feel pinned down, you feel like you can't set the boundaries, you feel like you can't let your guard down around them, you're not sure what's going to be going on from one minute to the next. It's not that you have to fully release and cut them out of your life. It's releasing the patterns that you may have joined into because of the energy that was presented to you. You don't have to take on other people's energy or the situations that they've created. So it's being able, again, to find that balance, being in that energy of the Queen of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Hermit and the High Priestess. Their energies may be similar in some ways and very different at the same time, but knowing that all of these are within you and all of them are okay to embody whatever it is that you need and supports you at the time. All right, Aquarius, I hope that that was helpful, and I hope that even though it sometimes felt to me like we were on those teacups that I was talking about, that it made sense and that you got something from it. If you feel called to, please comment, like, share, subscribe. It does help the messages to get to where they need to go. If you have a personal situation, even outside of what we've talked about today, that you'd like to explore, I do have services available, and the link will be in the description. But thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in another video or next reading, which would be for June. All right, take care, Aquarius.